Fellow citizens of the ECCU, you may recall the ECCB launched its inaugural strategic plan, styled Transforming the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union Together, in October 2017. We are now fully immersed in the hard and daily work of execution. As per our statutory obligation, we are pleased to share the 2019 ECCB Annual Report. This report is an important instrument of accountability to the people of the ECCU and our external stakeholders, a key tool, therefore, to share results on the bank's performance and prospects. Last fiscal environment was very much more benign than the previous year, when several ECCU countries were battered by unusually strong hurricanes. While we count ourselves blessed to have been spared adverse weather developments, we must remain laser-like in our focus to build resilience and reduce our vulnerability to natural disasters and external shocks. Despite the relatively fair weather in the last financial year, the global economic environment was less pleasant. In 2018, the global economy began to show signs of losing steam, with growth estimated by the IMF to be 3.6%, down from 3.8% the previous year. That notwithstanding, the currency union achieved a significant improvement in its growth performance as post-hurricane recovery and reconstruction efforts continued apace. Real growth in the ECCU is estimated to have been 3.3% in 2018 compared with 1.4% in 2017. While the performance is encouraging, we do recognize it still falls short of the 5% long-term growth target that is required to help accomplish socio-economic transformation of our member countries. In 2018-2019, our efforts under each of the 5 goals of the strategic plan bore some fruit. At the ECCB, we never lose sight of our core mandate, which is to maintain a strong and stable EC dollar. Our foreign reserves continue to grow. Even as we continue our strong EC dollar policy, we embarked on an innovative initiative with the launch of our digital currency pilot project. With this initiative, we will create a digital version of the EC dollar dubbed DXCD. This development has the potential to reduce our use of physical cash, enhance payment systems efficiency and financial inclusion, and harden our financial system against crime, including money laundering. Furthermore, the recently revived ECCU Payments Council has endorsed the roadmap for the modernization of the payment system in the ECCU. In respect of our push to ensure a strong, diversified, and resilient financial sector, the bank continued the rollout of its risk-based supervisory framework. Furthermore, the bank advocated for several extensive legislative reforms. For example, the process of amending legislation to transfer responsibility for anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism (AML-CFT) regulation for entities licensed under the Banking Act continued. The ECCB is now named as the AML-CFT regulator in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Antigua and Barbuda, and Grenada. Progress was also made in the enactment of the Credit Reporting Bill. This bill has now been passed in Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Kitts and Nevis. The Credit Bureau is a critical component of our program to help address elevated credit risk in the financial system. With regard to our objective to be the advisor of choice to member government in respect of fiscal and debt sustainability, the bank provided member governments with advisory support and capacity building. The bank also conducted an investor relations program as part of efforts to further develop the regional government securities market. We wish to recognize the progress being made by our member governments towards the debt target of 60% of GDP by 2030. As at the end of 2018, the ECCU debt-to-GDP ratio stood at 67.9%, the lowest it has been since 2000, when it was last below the 70% mark. The ECCB also continued its advocacy with the IMF and the World Bank for the inclusion of disaster-linked clauses in sovereign debt contracts as part of building resilience in the Caribbean. In respect of enhancing organizational effectiveness, our bank engaged in some deep introspection to identify areas for improvement so it may better serve the currency union. The outcome of that internal assessment, conducted through a human resource consultancy, is a human resource strategy. To strengthen the policy work of the bank and help nurture our research talent, we recruited a Chief Director for Policy, a newly created position. And on the financial side, the bank delivered a net profit of $32.7 million, more than tripling the result of the previous financial year. Looking ahead, the ECCU growth for 2019 and 2020 is projected to be around 3.5%. Attaining the 5% goal requires faster progress on several structural reforms, including improving the business environment, modernizing our payment system, developing 21st century skills, more flexible labor markets, and the increased use of renewables in our energy mix. The new financial year, 2019-2020, will see us forging ahead with ongoing and new initiatives under the strategic plan, with a focus on continuing our modernization thrust. We will pursue the following. Under our monetary stability pillar, maintain high levels of foreign reserves, enhance security and durability of EC notes through the issuance of polymer notes, and implement the DXCD pilot project. Under financial stability pillar, accelerate implementation of Basel II, strengthen the AML-CFT framework across the ECCU, license a credit bureau operator for the ECCU, and advance work on the macroprudential framework, especially for systemically important financial institutions. Under our fiscal and debt sustainability pillar, continue to offer advisory and capacity building support to member governments, continue advocacy for disaster-linked clauses in sovereign debt contracts, and deploy the ECCU public debt and market information web pages. Under our growth, competitiveness, and employment pillar, operationalize the Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation, continue payment system modernization, and support the development of a digital economy project for the ECCU in collaboration with the World Bank. Under organizational effectiveness pillar, continue to implement the recommendation of the HR strategy, launch an emerging leaders program to prepare our next generation of leaders at the bank, complete phases 1 and 2 of the greening of the ECCB campus, and complete phase 2 of our SAS project, which aims to enhance statistical capacity and provide support for conducting policy-relevant research, and deliver thoughtful and influential policy advice through publication of an ECCU policy handbook. Fellow citizens of the ECCU, though the task of socioeconomic transformation may at times seem daunting and our agenda never-ending, the bank is fully energized and will press forward. On behalf of the bank, I hereby express appreciation for many partners across the region and around the globe. Your partnership is welcomed. I wish to hail the support that the executive and management of the bank continue to receive from the Monetary Council and Board of Directors. I am grateful for the assistance of all my colleagues on the Executive Committee, namely the Deputy Governor and the newly minted Chief Director for Policy. I am thankful for the hard work of all our staff who have answered the call to serve the people of the currency union at this time in our history. I remain humbled by the honor to serve our region in this capacity. We look forward to an even greater year of progress and prosperity. I thank you.